I so love Enya. I could sit and drink red wine and enjoy the setting sun with Enya singing in my ear. That would be lovely. That's a vision of heaven, maybe, you know. And listen, it's a positive delight to welcome onto my programme Siobhan Hanna, who's the Assistant Director of Informatics at Daisy Hill Hospital in Newry, and Justin Weir, who's a patient in the renal department there. And we have a couple of things to talk about here. We have to talk about informatics generally and all the wonderful developments that are occurring in Daisy Hill, developments we can be very proud of, and also the situation in relation to people in your predicament of health. And you, Justin, came very, very close within the last 24 hours to getting to being summoned for a kidney replacement.
Absolutely.
Tell the people about that.
Yes, I got a phone call at about 10 to 10 on Tuesday night through the house phone, which I very rarely answer because of PPI calls, but I answered the phone anyway.
What's a PPI call?
I know these insurance people.
Oh, you buy something.
Claim,
yeah. I've got 40,000 for you. Just ring me now. So
exactly.
You took the call.
So I took the call, which was rare for me, and it was a nurse from Belfast City Hospital. And she said to me, Justin, we have a kidney here, possibly for you. Could you make your way down? So I says, certainly. So a wee bit shocked because I hadn't had a call in exactly 1 year to the month. And so I went in and I said to my wife, she was sitting in the kitchen, and I says to her, are you busy? And she went...
She must have been so happy.
she says, no, why? I says, let's go, we're going to Belfast City Hospital. I've just had a call for a kidney.
My goodness.
And she looked at me and she went, you're joking? And I says, no, I'm not. And she went, no, you really are joking. And I went, no, I'm not. And she said, again, stop winding me up. And I says, honestly, I says, I'm going to grab my hospital bag. So next thing, she was delighted. So we went and I quickly jumped into the shower, grabbed my hospital bag, made our way down to the hospital, up to the 11th floor, which is the renal floor in City Hospital. And met the nurses. And then obviously the process began, taking bloods, sending them off, meeting the surgeon, meeting the anaesthetist, doing all the questions, blood pressure, ECGs for the heart, chest x-ray. That's just all part of the process whenever you're going for transplant. And basically, through the early hours of the morning, they were estimating that I'd be took to theatre about 5 in the morning. So obviously, through all them hours, I had to go through this other process of getting ready. And it went to the point that I had the gown on, had the stockings on. I was just really waiting for them to come and sedate me. And the surgeon appeared back in the ward and he said, bad news. So this was about...
oh, shucks.
This is about 4:30 in the morning, Wednesday morning. And he says, your blood has had a reaction, so you can't
do it.
Can't do it.
How many kidney? Have you one kidney at the moment? Have you?
I have none.
None?
None.
Would one kidney do you?
Oh yes, one kidney do anybody.
Do anybody, yeah?
Yes, anybody, even from birth.
Yeah.
You know, as long
and what
as
age are you
normal.
now?
I was turned 40 there in February.
40?
Yeah.
And what are the circumstances that make one kidney okay for you and one kidney not okay for you?
Well, I mean, one kidney's fine for anybody. The reason I had to get my kidneys out is because I have a disease called polycystic kidney disease.
What is that?
And that is basically a disease, it's a genetic disease, and I took it from my mum's line of family. And there are many of us, there's about 10 or 11 of us in our family that we know has this disease at the moment. And that's not including the younger ones, because we wouldn't know at this stage for many of the younger ones in the family. But basically, polycystic kidney disease is it's just a defect in the genes of the kidney, and it doesn't form right. And where the wee filters are through the kidney, some of the filters hit like a dead end, a cul-de-sac, if you want to say that. So therefore, the toxins get stuck. They've nowhere to go. They can't filter through. So therefore, they form poison cysts.
Have you family, Justin?
I have.
What have you got? How many have you got?
I've got 2 boys.
2 boys, and you're local in Newry?
No, I'm from Banbridge.
From Banbridge.
Originally Banbridge, but I'm living in the country now. just outside.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing story. And it's a story in which you're living in hope.
Absolutely, yeah. We live in hope. We always, every day, we're waiting on that phone call.
Yeah. And could a living, healthy person give you a kidney? A person who's not going to
Oh, yeah.
donor?
Absolutely, yeah. I would encourage people to consider giving a kidney.
Yeah.
You know, because if there's rigorous tests
Yeah.
that they will do on somebody. They're not hard on the tests are not hard on the person. They're just very thorough with their bloods and things. And if they have reasonably good health and there's no danger to them by taking a kidney out of them, that's what's needed. Live donors are much better than the those who have come out of, you know, people who have passed away and stuff.
Ring me.
Ring you?
You can have one of my kidneys if you want it.
Oh, thank you
If
very
it's any
much.
good to you. Because I'm reaching a wonderful moment in my life.
Yes.
It's great.
Yep.
But it may not be suitable, but let's do the tests.
That would be great.
We give it a try.
Well, you can certainly give it a try.
Okay, we'll do that.
We much appreciate that.
Not at all. Let's do it.
And who knows, if it can't come to me, it may go to
Somebody else.
Yeah.
At least we do tests. And then the detail of the test
Yes.
would be on the bank. And people
Yes.
would know
Yes.
that he's going to be okay or she's going to be
Yes.
okay. She'll be
Yes.
able to do that.
Yes.
Let's hope something will come of this.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
I mean, your details will be kept recorded on the system.
Yeah.
And then they would pair you to who they think's best.
It's in your hands. You've got my details.
Thank you very much.
If you can make it happen, make it
Thank
happen.
you. I certainly
Right,
pass that on.
Siobhan Hanna. Yeah, you're the assistant director. You've been upstaged here. This is
I am
a
absolutely
wonderful story.
overwhelmed by
a
the
great
story.
story.
It's a privilege to be here today.
Ah,
Thank
it's
you very
just-
much.
it's so
Ron.
good to be
Yeah,
here.
It
Yeah.
is indeed.
Well, shall we? This is it. But I mean, Daisy Hill. I knew Daisy Hill in other times, when I had to stand up 40 years ago in the labour ward, the maternity ward, and say, "Matron, get these people stopped smoking now," because you went into the labour ward, the maternity ward, and you were immersed in a cloud of cigarettes. That's all changed.
Yeah.
It's shimmering.
Yeah.
It's a joy to go into nowadays. But tell the people what informatics is.
Well, I have responsibility across the entire Southern Trust area because you know that Daisy Hill is a very important part of our network in the Southern area and part of our network of hospitals, mainly with Craigavon. And I have responsibility for IT and also the information that I suppose helps make decisions about capacity, demand, services, etc.
Okay.
So I suppose in the context of the renal unit, Justin is one of our patients who spends a considerable amount of time in hospital 3 times a week.
4.5 hours a time?
4.5 hours a time. I suppose also in the renal department, we have a fully electronic record because, as Justin has described, when patients get the call for renal transplant, they go to Belfast City Hospital for the transplant. So we work very much in partnership with Belfast City Renal Service, and we have an electronic patient record so that the people in Belfast, when they get a call, have the full information that they require. So our renal staff use technology to record the patient's details and history to share that appropriately with other hospitals. And then the bedside entertainment that we have put in has dual use. So it is a bedside computer with a swipe card.
Oh, you're not
Our
moving
staff
away
can
from
use it.
lovely nurses, are you?
No, the
The
nurses.
best bedside entertainment ever I had was the beautiful nurse coming and bending over me, said, "Rowan, how are you at the moment?" I only remember this twice. And there was a lovely woman. She was what was it she was called? She was a chaplain, and she was a Roman Catholic nun, and she had a hint of her habit on. And she popped her head through the door and she says, "How are we?" And I'm under pre-med for my vasectomy, you see. And I'm lying there. And she says, "And what is the..." I said, "You don't ask any further. You wouldn't want to know." This was the funny thing.
The good news is that these bedside computers bring the nurse closer to you because she has to interact with the computer to type in your details and your history.
And she comes,
She comes over to use the computer through a swipe card, and then she leaves the computer to the patient.
And what do you do with it once you've got the computer?
Well-
Is it computer games?
Well, games if you want, yeah.
Or what?
Well,
Can you do
generally-
internet on it? You can get your
internet, yeah.
You can sort of do your
TV,
emails and all the rest of it.
emails,
Yeah.
I do my
Google
emails.
things. Yeah.
Yep, can check up. I even checked up
Destination Newry.
Destination Newry is right.
While you were sitting there bored,
sitting
but
there.
necessarily getting fed the blood.
Yeah, just
You know.
after I was told about it, I thought, I never heard of that, so I'll just,
Yeah.
because I'm not from Newry, so that's probably why.
yeah.
But I was
You're from
born in Newry.
Banbridge?
Yeah, but I was born
By
in
the
Newry.
way, you can get tablets for being from Banbridge.
Hope they're good. I
Where were you born? Newry?
was born in Newry.
Yeah.
Born in Daisy Hill.
Yeah, Weir. That's in Newry. I know this name.
Yeah.
Weir. Why do I know the name Weir? It's a great Newry name.
Is it
It's an
really?
ancient Newry name.
Is
There's
it?
Weirs
Yeah, I know it's
in
one of the
Newry.
oldest names on record
Yes.
in general.
Yes. Yeah.
That's probably why it's a short name.
Yeah.
So for those people who don't want to use the computer, because we have some people who aren't computer literate, there's
Yes.
also television available on the console and also radio. So there's a choice there for people just to have this personal
Yeah.
device there at the bedside.
And can I get the same? Can I get the World Service? Can I get Radio 4? Can I get Lyric FM? Can I get Classic FM?
Yes.
Wow! I want to go to hospital. That's what I want. I tell you. But it's a lovely hospital these days.
It is
It's very,
lovely
very funny. I'd been in Africa and I'd been lifting things in the bush that I shouldn't have been lifting. And I got a hernia. And I came back and I went up to you to get the hernia dealt with, and it was Jeff Blake was doing it, and I had my sailing mate from Warren Point, or Ross Trevor. He was coming round, and I wore my Indian clothes, my Indian suit there. And Blake looked at me and he says, "What? He says, I have to get a photograph of this. I have to get a photograph of this." But I think when you go into hospital, make the most of it. You know, interact with your people. Somebody sitting there with a long face and start cracking, within reason, crack your jokes, have your conversation, get involved. And if somebody wants to be alone, let it be quiet and be alone. So it's a console of opportunity from the world of entertainment.
Absolutely.
Can you order a carry-out and take it up? Or
You can order pizza if you want.
pizza if you want. You can do that.
Whatever,
Nobody's
yeah.
going to come and say, "What am I smelling? I'm smelling a pizza here."
The dietitian might give off the you know.
No, but your dietitian, you'll be all right for that.
But the technology allows it. Whether the staff allow it or is a different
But
issue.
you can talk the staff into it, I tell you.
Well, they may want a wee bit themselves, who
Yeah,
knows?
surely to goodness. Now tell me this about the other areas. You do other things up there. You're expanding
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, we are. I mean, we're quite famous
We've
for
something
a
to show
robot.
people, aren't we?
Oh yes,
We've something to show.
Yes, there's
We
a clip
could-
of
Andrew,
Justin.
stop. Hold your thought about robots. You're not joking me. There's robots at Daisy Hill.
There's one robot. In
There's
Daisy
one
Hill.
robot at Daisy Hill. We're going to hear about it presently after this beautiful little video. Andrew.
Hello, I'm Justin Weir and I've been on dialysis for almost 3 years now. Before the system came, we had very limited access to any sort of entertainment and we had no access to emails or anything on the internet. As a student, it's very important for me that this system has given us that access to the internet. I can access emails from both private emails and also emails from my lecturers, and I can also email them. I can also get any information from my college website that I need to see. Also, we have 27 TV channels, and we also have 22 radio channels, and we also have Patient View, which is a system that we can access our blood results, and we can send letters and notes to our doctors and also receive them. We can also access our medication lists and request any adjustments as necessary.
This is very definitely, Siobhan, the patient at the centre of the system.
Absolutely.
How different to the way it used to be.
Oh, very much
So they'd look down their nose at you, they'd hardly talk to you. But now you're patient-centred all the way.
Well, I have to say, in my experience, I think the staff in Daisy Hill in particular are very down to earth and grounded. But certainly there is a patient focus, and technology really enables that. And the technology allows the patient to interact with their own records, empowers the patient to have a look at their bloods, results, etc. And it is very much empowering the patient in their journey of care.
Yeah, and I think I know that's an issue of importance, that now the patient feels that it's okay to be proactive. It's okay to ask the questions. It's okay to get involved, because you've only one life,
Absolutely.
you know, which is the thing. But you're a student. What are you studying?
I'm studying theology.
Are you?
I am.
So that doesn't necessarily mean you believe there's a God.
Oh, it does.
There might be.
No,
There
you
might
don't have
be.
to, but
No,
to do
you
the
may,
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
I
take it you do believe in something
I do.
like that.
Yes, I do.
And has that helped you on your journey as well?
Yes, well, I believe my faith gets me through all this.
Do you ever say to him, "Hey God, what did you do wrong with my kidneys?" And give out to him? Do you go toe to toe with him at times?
No, I wouldn't put that upon him, but
No.
you know, I just know there's problems in the world, and I'm no different than anybody else. I don't see why I should be in better health than anybody.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
And how long are you studying theology now?
I've just finished my first year.
First year. And will you be at the end of that? Might you decide to go for the ministry?
I have no idea, Rowan. I have
Where
no
it'll take
idea.
you?
I just have no idea. At
You're
this
open to
stage.
it?
Yeah, I'm open.
You leave
Yeah.
yourself in the
Yeah,
hands of the
just,
man who
created me.
created you. The man, what's the song? Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the water. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the sea. Take a look at yourself and always be kind to others. Put your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. You didn't think this was going this way this
I
morning.
absolutely didn't.
You had no idea.
I'm impressed.
This is a man of
impressed.
studying things that are significant and important.
They
Because
absolutely are.
as you go through life, there's nothing as simple as it seems. You know, I've never yet met an out-and-out atheist. You know, because people are broadly too intelligent to be totally atheistic. But I'm an optimistic agnostic.
Oh.
Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, and I sit in the middle. Now, how can how can the wider community get involved in what you're doing up there? Because, I know that there's the Friends of Daisy Hill. I know that Fergal McCormack was greatly involved in providing the little rest chapel up there. I know that people are there helping. Is there an opportunity for a greater community involvement up at Daisy Hill?
Do you know, Ron, I think that in Daisy Hill we really are fortunate to have a community that really understands the importance of having that local hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And they really support it and they believe in the care, and it's a great hospital, and I don't think that we can ask for much else from the community. We know that they're there to support.
Yes, yeah.
And that, I think we're very blessed in the southern area to have that support.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I can understand that entirely, and the people get up in arms every so often because this unit is going to go to Craigavon and this unit is going to go somewhere else. But I mean, it's only, if we were in London, that's only 2 train stops down the line, so to speak. So while I value and cherish Daisy Hill at the heart of my community, I always say in interviews with politicians and others in this room, in this studio, if any piece of technology has to go somewhere else to improve the system, I would look at that with the greatest care, always.
But I mean, we do have really important services in Daisy Hill that are unique to the southern area. So our renal service is based in Daisy Hill. Justin comes from Banbridge because that is the service for our area. The robot that we started to talk about earlier, it is there to help with intensive care advice in Daisy Hill. So we don't have an intensive care unit, but we have this robot that helps with the interaction and advice from the intensivists on the Craigavon site to avoid people being unnecessarily moved out of their local hospital where they want to be.
It's a kind of conference calling.
Absolutely.
People can access this central bank of information.
Yeah, and they can see the intensivist's face on the robot who is interacting directly with them. He can see the patient, he can see their notes, he can see their lab results, etc. And he can say, look, you're safe to be there, this is the treatment that I recommend for you. And the clinicians in Daisy Hill are very, very, very interactive with that and acknowledge the support that they get from the other side.
Well, as Andrew begins to stands by to play some music for you, I am ending this interview with the only way I know how to end it. 3 cheers for Daisy Hill. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Well done. Music, please, maestro.
Take 4.
Cheers, man.